So the novella, The Life of Chuck, is from Stephen King's collection, If It Bleeds, which came out in 2020, which is 4 short stories. And this is from a rarefied corner of Stephen King's mind, which is a corner that isn't horrific, at least overtly horrific. But this is the same kind of well he draws from when he writes, Rita Hayworth in Shawshank Redemption, or The Body, which became Stand By Me, or The Green Mile. When I first read this novella, it just seized my heart so completely. I really wanted it to exist out there as a movie and hoped very much that I would get a chance to do that. But I think people don't give Steve enough credit for the humanist that he is and for the enormous heart that kind of beats behind all of the horror. His horror works because he's a man who really loves his characters, and that's what makes the horror land. It's about the people.
This film especially, just seeing it come to life, I think that I definitely noticed that, I read the script for the first time, and it's a different process of reading the script and then actually seeing it on the screen. It came together so beautifully, and it tells a remarkable story about, what a human being goes through and what it is like to, live on our planet. And it's really a beautiful story just about a man and how he appreciates why he appreciates that he's here, and he appreciates the things that are around him. He's trying to put it out there that, time could be running out, but let's spend every moment that we have together and savor those moments that we have.
To see it play in front, I saw it once alone when Mike showed it to me, and last night was just a revelation because the audience, it was so responsive and so riveted. They seemed to get every nuance, every detail, laughter at the repetition of the sign, "Thanks for 39 great years." I think one of the difficulties about promoting it is it's indescribable, at least for me. All I could say was, you've got to see it. And I think word of mouth is our strong suit, because the people last night are going to want to see it again, and they're going to tell their friends. It takes unexpected turns, but I think it just generally celebrates life and small moments. I mean, one of the things that I loved in my segment anyway is my wife in the film dancing in the kitchen with young Chuck. It's just one of those special moments, and it takes such abrupt turns. I mean, there's the joyfulness of that dance sequence is indescribable. Oh, and I only met Chiwetel because I visited the set the first day.
That's right.
And he was there with Carl Lumley. So it's one of those frustrating things, because it happens a lot where you're working with these wonderful actors, but you don't have any scenes with them. But as I say, it was an honor acting near you.
For me, the film expresses something that resonated very deeply with me personally when I read it, which is that inside the soul of every human being, of Chuck and of all of us and of everyone in the audience, is a universe of connections which are real and imagined. And that universe is like a constellation in the night sky. And that in the last hours of our lives, there will be moments and images and memories of the people we loved and the magic we shared with them. And that the life of Chuck is about ostensibly the life of one man, and as his life comes to an end, so does his internal universe, which contains these multitudes, as expressed by the Walt Whitman poem. And it spoke to me so deeply because it was a reminder that life is precious and fragile and brief. None of us are here for long. And it is full of struggle and pain and suffering. That's true, but it's also full of joy, and the joy is there to be savored with those people with whom you have those connections. And it just felt so. Stephen King's short story and Mike's film is so resolutely on the side of life. And it's about what life means in its essence, what it means to be alive, to dance, to find joy in math or numbers, to find joy in music or literature, or a connection between a man and a woman, a husband and a wife. It is about finding the joy, inhabiting it, and celebrating it, because that's all we have.
Yeah, everything. It's about that the profundity of the experience, of life, and of the connections that we have, and of the sort of vastness of the universe and the vastness of our souls. That our sense of ourselves is so complex and deep and full, and our lives are so rich. And then seeing it in the context, like analyzing one person's experience and allowing it. In this case, Chuck, and allowing it to have all of that majesty, all of that depth, all of that sort of just kind of profound connection is really beautiful. I think every member of the cast, every member of the audience, every character in the film, experiences all of this profound awareness and emotional complexity, and it's joyful, that. And I suppose at the end of all of that, what he does. Chuck, is dance. And that's a real message, to all of us, that it's all you can do, really, in the face of how complex and vast this experience is to enjoy, to try to enjoy it, and to dance a little like Chuck.
What I mainly took away from the film is that when you have the luxury of hindsight and you're looking back on your life, what are the things that really matter? And there's so many things that we place so much weight on in our lives that will just fall away when you're faced with it being the end of everything. And so, that's something that I think we all could afford to remember throughout our lives, but it's extremely difficult when you're in the thick of it, and you only can really do that in retrospect. And I think also how temporary everything is and how beautiful it is because it's not infinite is something that really resonated with me as well.
Well, I just realized that she was doing an American accent in the film for the first time.
I think it's no secret that I currently have the rights to the Dark Tower series, which has been a dream project of mine for a very long time, and I know is a project very important to Steve to get out into the world. It's such a juggernaut. It's 8 novels. It's epic. That we've been steadily making progress on it for a few years now. But that thing just weighs a ton. As a series, yeah. But the beautiful thing is that I can't think of another contemporary author as prolific at the moment as Steve is. I mean, I feel like he's got a new book every couple of weeks at this point. It feels like, anyway. There's just no shortage of stories of his that I adore, and I'd love a chance to play with. But this one, I knew as soon as I finished reading it, this one was very special, and I don't know that I'll ever have a chance to work on something like this one again. I hope so.